What is up, everyone? I've been using the new Hazardous Propulsion Titan Exotic chest piece the last couple days. Wanted to answer the question in this short, micro video review. Is it good? Well, let's cover what it does just in case you haven't even seen it yet. The exotic trait on Hazardous Propulsion is called Danger Close, and it states that weapon precision hits or final blows have a chance to load a kinetic Exodus rocket. Activating your class ability fires loaded Exodus rockets. Damaging targets with Exodus rockets temporarily increases the damage you deal with all other rockets. So kind of a lot to break down here. And just to answer the question, yes, this does work with your thruster ability. And actually, for the most part, I prefer it that way. It's really easy to pop your thruster ability and get out of the way of enemy fire and still have your rockets land. And you could also charge the thruster ability more quickly than a rally barricade. But honestly, go with whatever you prefer here. I'd assume that with more high level content, especially with a team and definitely before damage phases, you probably don't want to use the thruster and risk one of your teammates hitting you in the back, blowing themselves up with a rocket on accident. So in that case, of course, use rally barricade for the DPS phase, but for anything else, it's fun using the thruster. All right, so let's get more of a detailed breakdown on how it works. It seems like you have a pretty high chance for these kinetic rockets to load in when you get weapon kills or precision hits like it says. I found that I was pretty much at ×6 with little effort at all, but this is the buff that you can see on my left side of the screen. And if you want to, you can pop your class ability before you hit ×6 stacks if you want to, but obviously 6 rockets are better than 1. These rockets will do a lot of damage too, actually more than I thought they would. You're looking at 28,950 per rocket against Carl, so that's a little over 173,000 damage by just popping your class ability. So that's pretty good. It ends up being about 1 3/4 rockets worth of a base Apex Predator rocket. The second part of Hazardous Propulsion is that it also buffs your rocket's damage, including your rocket sidearms. So if you like Indebted Kindness, maybe you like the new Strand one, the Call, that rocket sidearm, this could be really good for you as long as you can keep that loop going consistently. Keep your damage up. To get the enhanced rockets damage buff, you need to successfully damage enemies with rockets. Each rocket that hits an enemy grants 1 stack of enhanced rockets. So let's say you pop your max stack of Exodus rockets, but you only land 1 rocket. You're only going to get enhanced rockets ×1. Land 2 rockets, you get enhanced ×2. All right, you get it. And the enhanced rockets buff lasts for 10 seconds. So here's the breakdown of how insane you can boost your rockets with some additional buffs. At a base level, just so we can get a foundation going, Apex Predator does 98,000 damage against Carl. With enhanced rockets ×1 or just 1 rocket landed from Exodus rockets, I can get a 10% increase in damage to 108,000. Each stack will give us 5% additional damage, so this caps out at 35% with ×6 or 132,000 damage per rocket. This will stack with weapon damage perks like Explosive Light, which is what I had on my rocket, for 25% more damage, putting us now at 165,000. And let's say you do a triple surge mod with whatever matches your rocket's type. Now you're looking at 22% more damage for 202,000 damage per rocket. And finally, just so we could see the big number here, we added Tractor Cannon to the mix for 262,000 damage for 1 rocket. So this is over double damage. And remember, this all works with your rocket sidearm. So Hazardous Propulsion could be good for general play as well. Just if you want to completely build into rockets, go for it. I did do some testing with Jolt from Indebted Kindness, and that did not seem to get a boost in damage. And I'm assuming Hatchling from the Call will not get a damage buff either, but I didn't expect that to. The projectiles do additional damage, and that is still awesome. One thing I did want to mention as well is it seems like Radiant is just not working properly. Radiant will override your enhanced rockets buff, so that actually ends up being a 10% loss in damage. So don't use Radiant when you're doing this. Hopefully it gets fixed. I don't know. We'll see. And I know you are probably wondering about Gallarhorn, and great news, Wolfpack rounds do get buffed, whether you're using Gallarhorn or even if you are using a legendary rocket that's getting buffed with Wolfpack rounds. Works for everything. There are quite a few raid encounters in the game where supers just don't really make sense for Titan. Maybe that will change with the Void Axes, we'll have to see. But if I'm on War Priest, for example, this is probably going to be my go-to exotic. I'll be dealing so much extra damage for those 10 seconds, and depending on what kind of weapon swap rotations I'm doing, I'm thinking I'll be able to get through 2 mags of Apex Predator along with the other weapons that I swap to. So to answer the question, is it good? Yeah, I think it is really good. There's really nothing like this in the game right now, and being able to deal so much additional damage with rockets, which are heavily used in DPS phases, I think it definitely has a spot in the game. Is it like the best exotic in the game? Definitely not. I don't think so, but it's fun to use. That's the main thing. Rocket sidearms are very popular right now, so I think we will be using this a lot more as time goes on. I know I will, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. I will see you all in the Discord, the next video, or the next live stream.